Hi everybody, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. My name is Tom Tompkins. I'm the host and the founder of Vehicle Visionary, and thanks to my friend Carlos Gutierrez, who is a salesman here at Holmes Honda in Shreveport, Louisiana, I'm going to tell you all about this 2019 Honda Pilot. This is the Elite trim, and the Pilot came on the scene originally during the 2002 year. It was actually introduced in April of 2002 as a 2003 model vehicle. It shares its platform with the Mazda MDX, the Odyssey minivan, and the Accord sedan. Let's go ahead and get started with our tour of the 2019 Honda Pilot. New for 2019 is a redesigned front fascia, as well as the rear tail lights. You'll notice some changes here on the front end, which is a very stylish front end on the Pilot. This being the Elite, it is an all-wheel drive vehicle. It makes 280 horsepower and produces 262 foot-pounds of torque out of the 3.5-liter V6 that is under the hood. Being that it's an all-wheel drive vehicle, here's a big advantage for those of you who may be interested in towing something around, going to the lake, going to play with your four-wheeler, whatever it may be. The all-wheel drive Pilot will pull 5,000 pounds while you can only tow 3,500 pounds with the front-wheel drive version. This particular model is mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission, but lower trim levels come with a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, of course, there's a lot of nice styling here. Chrome trim around the windows. You already have factory tinted windows. Very nice feature. I like the way that shows up on the color on the car. You also have roof rails up here. Turn signals in the mirrors. That's always a nice feature to have. And you have passive entry, where all you have to do, instead of pushing the button when you walk up to the Pilot, all you're going to do is put your hand on the handle and the door will open right up. It automatically unlocks and you can get right in. And to get into the gas door, to access the capless fuel fill on the Pilot, on the front of the driver's side door, right at the front of the armrest, you'll see a button that has a gas pump on it. That will allow you to open the gas door up. You will also find a button right behind that for the rear lift gate for opening and closing that from the driver's seat if you so wish to do so. And here on the rear of the Pilot Elite, the newly redesigned taillights, those look really good, very stylish, very nice, very modern looking. I like what Honda has done back here. A third brake light here in the middle, of course the antenna on top for receiving your satellite radio and navigation, the ability to navigate wherever you need to go with your infotainment screen. Rear wiper, but let's talk about the lift gate. There's actually a couple of different ways you can open the lift gate, one of which I already showed you on the driver's side door. There's also a button right here underneath just above, I should say, the license plate. You can push that, or you can also use the remote to open and close the lift gate. And now that we've opened the lift gate, I want to show you some interesting things about what's going on here in the back of the Pilot. You have storage space right underneath this cover, but here's something interesting. Let's say you have something you want to haul that might get dirt or dust or sand or something like that on the carpet, which I currently have facing up right now. You can actually take out this cover, turn it over. The top now is plastic and easy to clean if you happen to get anything on it that maybe you don't want on the carpet. You do have a couple of straps here that you can pull down on to lower the rear seats, increasing your cargo space to a total of 18.5 cubic feet. There's a couple of little storage trays right here, storage bins right here, and a power outlet on the left-hand side. When you get ready to close the lift gate, you can use the remote, you can use the button in the front, or you can use the button right here on the rear of the lift gate to close that back down. Now here in the back seat of the Pilot, by the way, there is seating for a total of 7 people in this vehicle. But I want to show you some of the interesting creature comforts back here in the rear of the Pilot. Of course, you have air conditioning back here, USB ports, you have a power outlet, very nice, very convenient. Air conditioning vents that can be controlled. You can control the fan speed, the temperature, everything right back here on the rear of the console. There's also a sunroof back here that you can open the shade on so that your passengers can enjoy the view from back here. But one of the more interesting features that I like, a lot of people were going to look here, there's actually a console. I don't know if I call it a console, but there's a couple of cup holders and a little bit of storage here in the middle. So no one's going to be able to get in and actually go through the middle of the seats to get to the back. But Honda came up with a very nice idea to fix that. There is a button on the side of these reclining seats that you can push that will move the seat back forward, and the whole seat itself moves forward, making it much easier for any of your rear passengers to get to these rear seats on the 60-40 split, 3-passenger seat in the very rear. And better than that, what happens when your rear passengers are ready to get out? Well, the passengers in the middle don't have to worry about that. There's actually a button that accomplishes the exact same thing as the button on the side of the seat. It's located on the rear of the seat. You also have armrests on both seats. Very nice, very comfortable. But one of my favorite things is the 10.2-inch screen that plays DVD and Blu-ray here in the middle so that your rear passengers can enjoy a movie or whatever they wish to watch on a long road trip. And before we move on to the front seat, I want to show you one more nice touch back here. Yes, the windows are tinted from the factory on this model, but if you need a little bit more shade, maybe you have a baby in the back seat, something like that, or somebody just wants a little bit more privacy, or to maybe cut down on the sun shining through a little bit more, there's actually a shade right here that you can lift up and increase, or I should say decrease, the light that is coming in. Okay guys, we're here in the front seat of the Pilot. It has power seats for the front driver and passenger, so you can easily recline and reset your seat however you want to. They've actually increased, Honda has increased the width of the armrests on the front seats for the driver and passenger. That's a very nice touch there. One thing I want to point out here, you would often out of habit, depending on what you've driven in the past, right in front of the door handle on the driver's side door, you would normally expect to find the lock and unlock button. That's not where it's located. It's actually down here on the armrest with the controls for all of the power windows. But you will find seat memory in front of the driver's side door handle. That's very convenient. You actually have 2 different settings for that. So if you have 2 drivers, it's going to be easy to get in and out and not have to change everything as you change drivers. Everything in the conventional locations of what you're probably used to, you can control a lot of different things. Cruise control on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, as well as turning lane keep assist on and off if you so desire to do that. Voice commands on the left-hand side. Phone, you can actually see quite a bit here on the 7-inch TFT screen in the center of the instrument cluster. I like that feature quite a bit. Now moving here to the center console, you have a very large console with a sliding door on that, and then a large deep console in the middle right there. A couple of cup holders, 2 cup holders here for you as the driver and the passenger. And on the left-hand side of the cup holders is where the shifter ultimately is. It's just several different buttons, but of course you have park, reverse, neutral, drive, and sport. There actually are 4 different modes. You have normal, snow, mud, and sand, depending on what you're going to be driving in. It's an all-wheel drive vehicle, so you aren't as limited as where you could go as you might be otherwise. You do have a sunroof here, and you can open the front sunroof here. And here's the interesting thing. The shade in the rear is automatic. Now you can just manually open and close the shade in the front, or if you push the button to open the sunroof, it's going to automatically pull the shade back anyway. So technically, I guess that's an automatic shade as well. Right here in the middle is something very interesting above the rear view mirror. You have basically a little mirror where you can kind of look into the back seat and see what's going on. And if you have kids back there, see what they're up to, or whoever your rear passengers may be. But here's something very interesting. As we move to the infotainment screen, of course, you have the controls and everything right underneath that for the dual climate controlled air conditioning. That's very nice. You and your front passenger can control what's going on up here. As we move to the infotainment screen, of course, you have the knob here for volume control. That's very nice. Up here in the top left-hand corner, depending on where you've gone on the screen, if you need to return home, you just hit that. You can return from any screen to the previous screen with the button underneath that. Now, there's a lot here. You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, navigation, you can pair your phone, all kinds of great things. But here's one of the most interesting features that I find here, and it's the cabin talk button right here. And basically what that means is that if you need to project your voice, say as a mother with unruly children in the back seat, can you imagine the fun you can have with that? Or if you just have your friends in the back seat and you want to mess with them a little bit. And it's not only on the speakers, it's also available on headphones. If somebody is listening to something, say through the screen here in the middle, watching a movie, you can also mess with them a little bit, but you didn't hear that idea from me. Okay guys, here we are out on the road with the 2019 Pilot. And I have to say, from what I've driven so far that you didn't see on camera, I'm really impressed. I mean, 280 horsepower, it's going to get you down the road nicely. You're not going to have any trouble getting up to the speed limit or passing somebody if you need to, or merging into traffic. It's just not going to be an issue. The transmission does shift very smoothly, the 9-speed transmission in this particular model. The steering wheel is nice and comfortable, and the ride's nice. It rides well, it drives well, it handles well. I mean, for a crossover, I have to say this is, it's about what I would expect, but the handling characteristics are nice. The acceleration is nice. Like I say, the steering wheel feels good and comfortable. Everything is easy to get to. And you really have, for a vehicle like this, the road noise is often, a little bit louder. I have to say, the road noise in this vehicle is not bad. It's actually very, very enjoyable. The ride is nice and quiet. I have nothing but positives to say. Now, we're about to be in an area where acceleration could be very helpful, because we're going to be in one of the busiest areas of Shreveport, Louisiana, where I'm going to have to wait for a clearing in traffic to basically merge into traffic. So we're going to get out here on the road and do a little acceleration test and see how the Pilot does. So getting up to the speed limit very quickly. Like I said, 280 horsepower is going to do you really well when it comes to acceleration. The handling characteristics of the Pilot are really, really solid. It's nimble. It doesn't have a lot of body roll for something that has a little bit more ride height. It is a crossover, so it's not going to be as high as a full-size SUV, so you won't have quite the handling characteristics of a traditional size SUV. But I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed. This is a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. It didn't take me long to get comfortable with the way it handles, with the way it drives, with the way it steers, the way it brakes and accelerates. Everything is really good. So we're gonna hop out on here and get on back to the dealership. But I'll tell you what, I have really enjoyed driving the 2019 Pilot. And that will bring to a close my time with the 2019 Honda Pilot Elite. Again, I would like to thank Holmes Honda and my friend Carlos Gutierrez for the opportunity to review this vehicle today. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you enjoy the content on my channel, please be sure to subscribe, as there's a lot more coming in the future. Leave a comment and let me know that you are here. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to watch. Have a great day.